Mr. Overeem, it's been about 13 months since you sent Brock Lesnar into retirement. How has the layoff been for you, both mentally and physically?
Well, it's been 13 months indeed. The layoff itself was not that bad because, of course, I had stuff on my mind or stuff to clear with the commission. On the other hand, I just moved to the States. So I had some time, some social time to get to know new people, get to know the city, get to know where around. So I just used that time to, as in a positive way. And I never really stopped training. So in that sense, I've also improved my game. So.
Do you look at this fight as a comeback fight?
I think everybody sees it that way. For me, it's just the soonest available opportunity to fight. And again, I've used my time off in the best way possible. I made it more simple.
Did you change anything up training-wise during this time off? Because you haven't had a long layoff like this in quite a while. So did you do anything different than you normally do between fights since you had more time?
There were a lot of new things I wanted to try. And when you have fight preparation, you're usually focused on your opponent and you're focused on the strength and conditioning part. And now, obviously, because you're going to the gym without that clear instruction, you can just do whatever you want. So many times I just went to the gym and had fun. You just experiment, you play around. New techniques come up. So that was basically that was in the beginning, and this camp was a long one. I trained for 6 months because I was expecting maybe to fight at the New Year's Eve show. So, and my camps are always long. I just want to be absolutely sure that everything is good.
Did you feel like you got to expand your skill set a little bit, work on those new techniques, and maybe refine some things that you just didn't have time before?
Definitely, yes.
Junior Dos Santos obviously is not the champion anymore, but he's somebody with whom you were scheduled to have a fight and who obviously felt like he wanted to fight you. Seemed like you guys wanted that. Do you have any interest in facing, Cain Velasquez, or would you prefer?
He didn't want to fight me because I wanted to make that fight happen. I tried to make the fight happen. I did my best. Even Dana White wanted that fight happen, and I think the whole world wanted to see that fight. The fight didn't happen because he chose to fight Cain Velasquez for December 29th. He declined to fight.
So is that a fight that you still want, though, with Junior, just to settle the score, or would you rather just move ahead and fight Cain?
It's going to be up to the UFC to decide ultimately who's going to be. If it's up to me, I want to fight the champion. I want to get that belt. I think it belongs to me. I think I'm the best fighter. And Junior Dos Santos, I will face him certainly.
And obviously, I don't want to discredit Antonio Bigfoot Silva because you have to get past him first. What do you see as his biggest strength against you?
He's a big guy. He's a strong guy. Other than that, shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Do you look at him as a speed bump on your quest to the UFC belt?
Well, I mean, it is a person. I mean, obviously he's got a game plan. He's trained hard, but I know what I do to my sparring partners. I know what I'm capable of. Shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Do you feel with the victory over Bigfoot that you should get the next UFC heavyweight title shot?
I think so.
Has Dana or the UFC mentioned that to you?
Well, there's been some talk of they offered me the title fight straight away, but that meant I had to wait another, since those guys just had their fight, I had to wait till they're recovered from their injuries, so we were calculating, okay, that might be May, June, July. Of course, I don't want to wait that long for a new fight, because that would mean I would have a 17, 18 layoff. So we threw some names around, Vitor Silva, I said yes, and that's how this fight came about.
What do you make of Daniel Cormier? He took your spot in the Strikeforce tournament and went on to win it. He's making his mark already, and he's going to fight Frank Mir. Do you think Daniel is somebody that you could face in the future, and how do you feel about that fight?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's done great in the Strikeforce tournament. He's now coming to the UFC, so why not?
Is there any sadness on your part that you didn't get to finish up in the tournament?
Well, I don't feel sad if things are out of my control. I learn from them. I adapt. Try to make things better the next time. Try to make better choices. That I exited the Strikeforce tournament was not my choice. It's beyond my control, so I can't feel sorry about it.
Alistair, Bigfoot trained with your current team, the Blackzilians, and then departed when you arrived. What were your thoughts about that? Why do you think he left?
I don't know. I know he made a mistake because It's a very fine team. We have an excellent management, very capable management. We have an excellent training facility. So I think it's his bad for leaving.
Do you think you ran him off?
I think so.
Interesting.
But on the other hand, I mean, if he would still be there, we'd be training buddies. So I don't know. And to be honest, I don't really care. I mean, if they want to train me, fine. If they want to train me, also fine.
In your Reem documentary, which by the way I enjoy very much, they're very well shot. You talk about having to bring in big guys because nobody in the camp could work with you really. How much were you able though to work with Rashad and Vitor at all? And if not, who were those big guys that you brought in?
Well, I didn't work with Rashad that much. I didn't work with Vitor that much because they're very different than Bigfoot, obviously. We brought in, I think, 10 guys, all 265. A bunch of them were taller than me. A bunch of them were bigger than me. Some were smaller. So all sorts of guys. And then obviously we still had a couple of heavyweights and light heavyweights training at the Blackzilians already, which we put in that group as well. So I had my own little heavyweight crew to train with.
And where do you find these guys?
Well, a little bit from everywhere. I mean, we got Rico from the K1 from Europe. We got a couple of guys from Europe. Obviously, my career is a long one. You make contacts, you stay in touch, and whenever I have a fight or they have a fight, you help each other out.
Did you work with Tyrone Spong at least? I mean, you've defeated him before in K1, and he's part of that team.
Yes, we work together.
Yeah. Can you kick his butt still?
Of course.
Don't beat me up, Tyrone.
Where do you feel you have the biggest advantage going into this fight against Bigfoot?
I think I'm a better fighter. Better stand-up, better ground, better wrestling, better jiu-jitsu. I think I'm faster, a lot faster. I think I'm stronger. I think I have more experience. I think I'm more clever in adapting game plans. I'm just better.
Dana White said that Fabricio Verdun, if he wins against Big Nog, he can get the title shot. Would you face him again, and how do you see it?
Of course, why not? And I'm here to fight. I love to fight. I want to fight the best guys in the world. That's why I'm in the UFC. So anybody who they put in front of me, be more than happy to show them what I got.
What do you think another Holland talents? They will come to UFC one day, or what do you think about that?
What's the question?
About all the Holland?
The Dutch talent.
The Dutch talent. What I think about the Dutch talent?
Will there be more coming to the UFC?
Well, that's a good question. I have nobody in my mind who's going to enter soon. There's some other guys who will come in the next couple of years, but nobody from Holland that I know of. Or maybe, you never know, right? Maybe there's some Holland talent that nobody knows about.
How do you think about that? Because you are a very talented fighter. So, what can we expect like a fan?
From who? From me?
Yeah, because you are Holland.
Dutch, yeah. From Holland.
Sorry, you are Dutch, so we are expecting a lot of you.
Who's we? Where are you from?
The fans, Mexico. So we want to know about another talents and another country's talents. So I would like to know what do you feel to be an ambassador of Holland or Netherlands?
Well, since I'm not living there anymore, I just moved to the States, and I think I'm not going to go back because I'm just living the life in southern Florida. I think I wouldn't be that good for that position, being an ambassador, what do they call it?
Ambassador?
Ambassador for Holland. I wouldn't be that guy.
So let's talk about Florida. My brother lives down there. I brought him by the training center. I saw you that time. And has it been good to you? What do you think that's added to you mentally that doesn't necessarily fit into your training, but that maybe is helping your overall life and vitality for life?
The weather. I mean, in Holland, I remember I was there like 6 weeks ago, and it's just cold. You don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to leave your house. And in Miami, you just wake up, open the curtains, just get energy. Go to the gym and a smile. It's amazing how the weather can impact your whole system, your mindset. So that's something that I started realizing that after I did a training camp in Thailand. I think it was in 2009. I was there for a month in the wintertime in Holland. And after that time, I was like, hey, you can actually choose your whereabouts. So from that moment on, I started to look for alternatives.
I have to say this, you know, you're, in terms of this fight card, the person people ask me first and foremost to interview, you got to get Alistair, you got to get Alistair. How does that play to you that you have sort of equal parts huge fans and equal parts detractors who are probably never going to get past, you know, your suspension and that sort of thing?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Just in general, I'm wondering what kind of feedback you get. Do you get equal parts lovers and haters? Because you're the person everybody wanted to hear from, at least in my world, the most on this card, and yet I feel like you're a person who gets a lot of grief as well.
I get some grief. I get a lot of support. I get a little bit of everything.
How do you deal with it?
I don't know. The thing is, maybe a little bit of a bad thing to say, but a lion doesn't bother about the opinion of sheep, and that's a little bit downgrading in that sentence. But you know, I've chose my career not for other people. I chose my career because I am who I am. I'm a fighter. I've always been a fighter. I remember when I was 7, 8 years, I watched WWF. And Hulk Hogan was like, oh my God, and I was imitating it in the sand playground on the beach with other. So you know, it's just in me, it's just in my blood, and yeah, of course, along the way, some people will like it, some people won't like it. You'll have enemies. You beat some guy, obviously his fans are not gonna like you. Well, some of them might be, but a lot of them won't. And yeah, that's just the way it is. But you know, I chose this progression for me because this is me. This is what I like to do, and next to that, I got bills to pay.
Alistair, so many fans were excited when you came over to the UFC, and you got one fight in, and then you had the 9-month suspension. Do you feel that you have something to prove to the fans in this fight?
Not necessarily. I mean, I have my resume. I'm going into my 6th year undefeated right now, so you know, I'm a winner. I always want to win. In that sense, I don't have anything to prove to. You know, I just need to do my thing, and I'll be just fine.
Your last win was against Brock Lesnar, and I'm just curious, how satisfying was that victory to you, being in the UFC, and obviously you're a 3-time champ and other organizations, but I just wonder where that falls in the rank of fun victories or satisfying victories in your career.
I've had a lot of great victories. Brock definitely was one of them. It was my first fight in the UFC, and it was a great entree. On the other hand, it was a little bit sad because I retired him. I mean, I kind of liked his whole thing. And but again, a fight for me. It was a great first fight in the UFC.
Well, didn't I hear that he re-signed to do more wrestling, pro wrestling? So maybe you can still be a fan of his anyway.
Still, I don't really watch pro wrestling, but that was a thing when I was
when you were a kid.
10, 11, 12. I don't really watch it now.
Dana made an announcement that
I loved it back then, the wrestling, Ultimate Warrior, and all these guys, but now it's a little too clean.
Dana said that he tried to put together Brock versus Vitor at Cowboy Stadium. What was your reaction to that?
Always nice to know, always interesting to know, but I don't really have any thoughts on it. I mean, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Maybe it happened, maybe not. I don't know.
Alistair, talk about the day that the Nevada State Athletic Commission gave you your license back. I mean, emotionally, what were you thinking? How excited were you? Kind of take us through that process.
Well, I mean, obviously my management and I, we sat down, we discussed how we would move forward, put together a plan. The plan was to rebuild the confidence in me by the commission, rebuild the trust relationship. So that's how we set about, and it included the monthly test. So we did that. So I already kind of knew that we went in the right direction. So for me, it was like it's either going to happen or it's not, but I'm just doing the best I can. And again, as long as I'm doing the best I can, it'll either work out or it won't. But at least I don't have any second thoughts about it.
Do you feel you have a clean slate and you're starting new with the UFC at this point?
Well, the clean slate, let me just get through a couple of fights without any issues, and then I'll have, you know, things go away in time. But I think still it's kind of fresh to talk about a clean slate yet.
Although Dana did credit you with, you know, sort of manning up and coming to speak to him, and because he was initially disappointed. And I mean, was that something that you initiated, that you felt like you really needed to go and speak to him man to man?
Yes.
And that,
Throughout the commission hearing, you had said that you would like them to do things to try to improve upon what they have for facilities for testing overseas. What would you recommend to the commission?
I'm not going to make any recommendation. I just said what was faltering for me being an athlete overseas, and I think they've corrected that by now.
Any message to your haters?
No message to them. Keep on doing what you do. I mean, I'm not losing any night sleep over it.
right. Is your brother still a part of your fight career initially? If he's the one who got you into it, is he still around fighting, and is he still helping you out?
Well, he's actually on his way to Miami right now. He's got a fight scheduled in Miami. His fighting is a little bit lower skill right now because he's got other activities which he's doing. But I mean, he's still a great talent and a funny guy to have around. So, and he's around.
And are you okay with? I would imagine the UFC has an exclusive contract with you. So are you okay with putting away the K1 and the straight kickboxing?
I'm not going to go back to K1. Still owe me some money.